Tanya Williams. Welcome to a special pre-retreat presentation from the All-Woman Universe. Thank you for joining me from wherever you happen to be right now. And wherever you are, you're in the right place, doing the right thing with the right person. The fact that we are connected right now means that you have already registered for the All University's upcoming All-Woman Virtual Retreat, kicking off on January 14th through the 16th. We are so excited about the All-Woman workshops, the creative programming, the special guests, and sisterly love and support that all of our All-Woman committee is planning just for you. But most importantly, I'm so excited that you are going to be sharing this retreat experience with us. I'm thrilled that you will be starting your 2022 journey with us and celebrating the study of you. Yes, this weekend is all about you. Most of us do so much for everyone else, but this weekend's all about you. It's a time to put you front and center. It's a weekend set aside just for your unabashed self-care. Most of all, it's a time to reconnect with your Creator, get divine guidance for ourselves, and then get in our 2022 groove. For the past 12 years, every January, our group of like-minded ladies have taken time out from our busy schedules, our daily grinds, and hung up our Superwoman capes just to gather and partner with each other. We help each other to reevaluate our life's visions, to cast our dreams, and to reignite our passions. This is our time at the top of the year to get free from the ties that bind us, to get focused on our destinies, and to have some fun. Well, you know what they say, girls just want to have fun. Amen. This year's retreat theme is upgraded. Ladies, are you ready for your 2022 upgrade? Well, if so, guess what? There's no better time to start than right here and right now. Everybody's doing it. Schools, businesses, government agencies, all types of entities have had to make adjustments and improvements, especially in this pandemic season. And now it's your turn. This year, we've even upgraded the retreat. We are bringing you 2 special pre-retreat webinars. These webinars have been handcrafted to inspire you, to push you, and to ensure that you get into your 2022 groove. So, to get ready for our upcoming retreat and really to get ready for our 2022, we've invited one of our special retreat guests, a dynamic woman who I'm honored to count as a professional colleague and one of our all sisters, to share a few principles and life lessons from her new book on how to best position yourself to play your best game in 2022. Help me welcome to the All-Woman University our Mastermind teacher, Miss Elzora Watkins. Elzora is a phenomenal woman who has infused our previous retreat events with inspiring life gems, words of inspiration, and presentations that encourage us to live our lives head on. And we are so thankful for her. She is a graduate of both Penn State and Johns Hopkins Universities with a master's in education. She is currently pursuing her doctorate in math education. That is a really big brain. An entrepreneur at heart, she owns her own consulting company and has been providing coaching and motivational programs and services for over 30 years. Her last 5 years has been focused especially on partnering with women to create the lives they were destined to live. And with 2021, she was able to add the title of published author to her long list of accomplishments. Since our last retreat, she published her very first book, Play Your Game Now. I'm so proud and excited for her. I've asked her to come and share some of the inspiring insights and principles from her book with you, because I believe that it will assist us all in preparing for our retreat experience in January of 2022. and for our best year in 2022. So without further ado, grab your favorite cup of tea or coffee, a pen, some paper to take some notes, and just relax and let's learn how to play our best game in 2022. Let's welcome Elzora. Elzora, you can take it from here.
I'm so excited and honored to have the opportunity to hang out and play with such lovely, lovely ladies. Thank you so very much for having me here. And I would love to share this opportunity to share with you what I've gained from creating this book called Play Your Game Now, 15 Points of Hitting and Winning Shots in Life. So in this presentation, I just want to share with you the nuggets that I gained from playing a game of racquetball. Seriously, I mean, can you say a divine download? With each and every stroke of that racket, chapter after chapter after chapter was downloaded into my brain, and I was able to just come out and walk away with a book. And that's how God does it. That's exactly how he does it. He just kind of gives us a divine download. And oftentimes we don't take the time to even stop and pause and receive those downloads and move to take actions. And that's the purpose of me writing this book. I wanted to inspire women to take action on the downloads that God has given to them. And so with that being said, I like to share with you some of the things that came with me or came from this book. Was that many of us don't know how to trust ourselves. Wow. Now this is going to be really powerful in this retreat, because many of you are in the process of trying to create something, whether it's a book, whether it's a podcast, whether it's your own business. You're in the process of moving to that next level. And oftentimes you get stuck, right? And when you're stuck, you can't move forward, right? And so the biggest problem is not trusting ourselves. And this is what the data is saying. So let me get back to the presentation here and talk more about what are some of the things that you can do to move forward. Now, before I share that, I want to share with you that we all get stuck. I mean, I got stuck in the process of writing this book. I was really stuck. And if my mission is to help women to play outside of their box, and if that's my goal, then I have to be ready to share what it was that gets me stuck. Because you can't help someone move from a space unless you've been in that space yourself sometimes. So with that being said, let me share with you some of the things that had me stuck in this process. Because we all, like I said, we all get stuck. So one of the main things that had me stuck was my mindset. Let me just say, mindset will get so many people stuck. Yeah. Growing up, thank you. Does anyone else understand where I'm coming from with that? So growing up, yes, growing up when I was in when I was in high school, at the top of the class, I think number 12 out of, I don't know how many kids, maybe 600, being number 12. And so when I went to college, I had to take remedial courses. And two of the remedial courses I had to take was math and also an English course. And so what the professor told me was I couldn't write. What? So, yeah, sometimes we take on what other people put on us. Like our parents may have told us we couldn't do something, or a teacher may have told us we couldn't do something. I don't know about you, but in the chat, could you type for me, please? Could you chat for me? Put in the chat, what are some of the things that stopped you, or some people who may have said some things that caused you to stop you from moving, and how to overcome that, And so that was one of the things that I had to overcome, the fact that I was told that I couldn't write. So here I am what, 30 something years, 40 something years later, maybe not 40 something, 30 something years later, trying to get past that block of being told that I couldn't write. That was one of the things that stopped me or stunned, gave me a jolt. Another thing that stopped me was that, you know, how life is, you know, you're doing all sorts of things. You know, I was working full-time, working on my doctorate part-time, trying to start a business, you know, being a wife, being, you know, just being. And we all have these things where we're trying to be all these people to everyone, right? So that was stopping me. Another thing that caused me to just kind of hit a brick wall or was the simple fact that I had this coach, and she was saying, you know, she hadn't even started her book, and she was like, girl, don't let me pass you. Don't let me start my book and in my book before you know, get your book published. And so that put an extra pressure on me. But let me just tell you, things happen for a reason. Things happen for a particular reason. And as a result of me doing it in God's time, I ended up changing the chapters around in such a way that now not only is my book a book, but it's also a program where I can further support women. And that right there is really exciting. So I just want to share with you some of the things that I learned in the process of writing this book. Here are some reflections. I learned that I'm resilient, that no matter what, that I can keep on going. And that's for you too, right? I learned that I could do it. So in my book, if I'm talking in chapter 1 about playing with a positive, playful attitude, then I need to obtain that as well. I need to have a playful out attitude. So that's what I had to take on. I couldn't just write about it. I had to be about it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be about it. Right, right. And last but not least, this is key for me. I define me. Woo! Okay?
Yes.
Define me. And that's for you too. You define who you be, not anyone else. You walk your own path. So let me share with you a very, like, this right here is my favorite point in the book. Now, you know, here I am talking about point in the book in racquetball. Does anyone know what racquetball is? Let me ask that to anybody. Has anyone in this audience, have y'all played racquetball before? Anybody play racquetball?
Yes.
Yes.
Racquetball, squash, handball.
Okay, okay.
I love racquetball.
Yes, Sonia, I remember you saying, Reverend Sonia, I remember you saying that you used to play racquetball. And racquetball,
I used to play with Reverend Williams, Robin Williams on the call.
Yes, and I got to beat you too.
Yes,
Okay.
and then you woke up.
Woo!
Oh,
All right now.
oh,
Nice.
y'all are
Right before your alarm
troublemakers.
clock went off.
Y'all are troublemakers. I love it. I love it. So racquetball is a very competitive sport. You know, you're in this room with these 20-foot ceilings, and you're playing and you're running back and forth, smacking that ball as hard as you can. And the ball is like ricocheting off the walls and everything. And in order to be successful, you have to be in the right position. In other words, you have to assume the position. And let me show you what I mean by that. Take a look at this young lady. What do y'all see? Tell me what you see.
Someone's trying to grow into pretending to be in their mom's shoes or their big sister's shoes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. And so with that being said, let me just ask you a quick question. What do you think I mean by assume the position? What does that have to do with this little girl standing in these shoes? What does assume the position mean to you?
I guess, you know, that it's important to be in the right space, maybe at the right place, doing what's appropriate for your particular path or your goal.
Mhm. Anyone else want to share what they think this means? Let's hear from one more person. What do you think? What do you think it means to assume the position?
She looks like she is actually envisioning her growing into those shoes. Like one day she's going to be able to fit those shoes. She's envisioning it now. She looks excited, amazed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what I mean by assume the position is whatever it is that you're trying to obtain or whatever it is that you're moving forward to, you got to act like you already are there. You remember when you were a kid, your parents would say, "You girl, you better act like you know," right? You remember? Well, that's what it means for you to act like you already know you're there. To act like you know in your brain first, because this is where it happens first. It happens here in your brain before it can be manifest into fruition, into reality. So you got to act as if here. Jack Canfield used to have parties at his retreats, and these parties would be called act as if parties. I want to change it, get a little spin, a little blackish spin to it, and call it an act like you know party, where you show up dressed and acting as if you've already arrived at that position that you're trying to be in. So that's what it means by assume the position. You have to assume the position first in your brain before it can come out into actuality. So what that means is, if you want to be a business owner, then act like a business owner. But I have a question for you. As a matter of fact, I have a couple questions for you. Think about this. How would you act if you knew you couldn't fail? Like, what position would you assume in life if that were true? What would you create for your family, for yourself? Who would you be? How would you dress and how would you show up? Where would you go? Where would you live? And more importantly, who would you hang out with? So let me share in racquetball, when you assume the position, center court, the center, this is a picture of a racquetball court, and the center court is the most desirable space you want to be in. That's right where that red X is. Because when you're in that space right there, that allows you to access more of the court quickly. So for instance, when I was playing, as my friend and I was playing racquetball, and when I had this divine download, just imagine this, with if she was in the front of the court, I would have a tendency of hitting the ball way in the back because I want her to run and get out of breath to get to the ball. If she was in the back of the court, I would hit the ball so that way it would go to the front of the court and making her again run to the front of the court. But when you're in prime position, when you're in center court, when you're in the middle, when you have access to all aspects quickly, then that places you in the position where you can get to where you need to fast, where you can get to where you need to get to in such a way that's with grace and ease. And I want to share with you this quote. I love this quote right here. This quote says, "Position yourself well enough and circumstances will do the rest." So for instance, let's say you're trying to write a book. Like, what are some things that you can do right now to position yourself to give you easy access to reaching your goals? Let's say you're trying to be a speaker or to have your own business. How might you position yourself now so that way you can be in prime position to leverage your swing? What must you do to be in that position? I want to share with you a story of one of my friends, and she's all in this book. I'm so inspired by this young lady. She assumed the position. So let me tell you a little bit about my friend Ange. She gave herself permission to be brilliant. Now, brilliant is her brand, right? And so what she started off working for this hotel brand. And she started from the bottom. I mean, she started off in the kitchen washing dishes and worked her way all the way up to the manager, like I don't know, executive manager or business manager. I don't know which manager, but she's one of the top managers at the hotel. But the only problem was she hated her job. I mean, every day she would just have this tightness in her chest because she knew that she had to go to this job. Now, I don't know about you, but when you are going to a space that you're not excited about being at, that's stressful. As a matter of fact, research shows that most heart attacks happen on a Monday. And that's because people are frustrated about going to work. Well, anyway, that was Angela. She was so frustrated about going to work. And in the meanwhile, she had her side hustle where she had a coaching business to help women to brand themselves from the inside out. And so last year, she quit her job. Now, let me just say, she quit her 6-figure job. And you can only imagine what people said. What do you think people said to her when she quit her 6-figure job working at a hotel? What do you think they said to her?
You're crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's what all her friends, her family said to her, girl, you are crazy. Like, you're going to miss out on your hotel discounts, right? You want to miss, how you going to pay your mortgage? How you going to pay for your health insurance? How you going to pay for this? And who's going to take care of you? All these things that people said to her. But she said to herself, what if I don't step out? Like, yes, I have $100,000, but what if there's more? Oh my goodness. Hold on. That gave me chills. I want to ask you right there. What if there's more? What if there's more on the other side? So she, not only did she quit her job, she sold her house and moved into an apartment, a luxury apartment. And the reason why she moved into this luxury apartment was because she saw that this was a space where she could do her trainings, because they had this beautiful conference room. And so, but before she moved into the apartment, she started to visualize herself in the conference room. Every night before she go to bed, she would think to herself, what would it be like to walk into that space and walk into this conference room and have her clients sitting around the table? She even coerced her son into visualizing things. She had her son, she would say to her son, when you walk through the lobby to go to school, how would you walk? What would you look like? How would you strut? Show me how you would walk. And his name is Duke. So he would take his little sweater, throw it over his shoulder, and he would do his little Duke walk. And she was like, yeah, dude, that's how you're going to walk when you walk through this new place. And he would show exactly how he would walk through. You know that song, When I Walk Through. I hope there's no bad words in that song. Anyway, he would show how he was going to walk through. And so when they moved into that place, it came into fruition. So what I'm saying is sometimes you got to act like you know here first. So move forward, definitely move forward. Focus on those major things. Now, listen, this is the key. This is the key, y'all. This is the key. When you own your game, the best way to own your game is to bring all of yourself to the table. Let me say that again. This is what I want you to do as I talk. I want you to talk. I want you to put in the chat the things that make you you. And while you're doing that, I just want to share out more about being in a position to hit an ace. When you bring all of yourself to the table, and that's what I had to do in my book. I had to bring all of myself to the table. I'm a poet. So there's some poetry in the book. I'm a mathematician. There's some math in the book. I am quirky, geeky, nerdy, fun, exciting. I'm bringing all that to the table. You won't get all that. Let me just say it again. You won't get all that. And when you bring all yourself to the table, guess what? Guess what? There's no competition. I almost spun around in the chair. When you bring all of you to the table, there's no competition. No one can compete to you. Somebody said no limits, creativity blooms. Yes, yes. There's no competition. There is no competition when you bring all of you, because there's no one in this world that has all the stuff, all the pieces, all the variables that you have. So yeah, you know, I was reading a book the other night, another book, Profit something. I forget the title of these books. And the guy was saying in this book, Lamar was saying that you know, sometimes you feel, oh, I can't do it because the market is saturated. And I was feeling that. I was feeling that at one point. I was like, oh, Dad, I don't know if I want to be a coach. You know, it's already saturated. I mean, like 10 years ago when I was thinking about doing the life coaching thing, you know, it wasn't saturated, but now that thing is saturated. Everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, there's a life coach here, life coach there, here life coach, there life coach, everywhere life coach. The life coaches were everywhere. But there's not a life coach that has all the ingredients that I have. And vice versa. There's a life coach that has other ingredients that I don't have. And I had to realize that if I just be my authentic self, or should I say, when you are your authentic self, there's no competition. That's when you can ace. That's when you can serve an ace. Now, an ace is a serve that isn't returned, resulting in a point for the scorer. That's where you score your points. When you embrace all of who you be, and when you embrace all of who you be, again, there's no competition, and you can ace the game. Here's a quote I want to share with you. Start where you are. I hope you hear this now. Use what you have and do what you can do. I'm sorry, do what you can. I had to do on the end. But sometimes we got to realize that you already got the stuff. The solution is already in you. You already have the skills. You've already worked for that company for 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, some of us 40 years at this company learning things. You've already got the skills. You already have the credentials. You just got to move forward so the door can open and you can go through that door. I don't know. Do you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? So here, I told y'all, y'all gonna get all of me. I don't know, but I told y'all gonna get all of me. So this is what I need you to do. Everyone should already have their paper and pencil because Reverend Sonia already told you to get your paper and pencil, right? So I need you to pull your pencil out, and I got a little math activity for you because I told you I'm bringing all myself to the table. This is what I want you to do. Those people in my chat, this is what I need you to do. I need you to put in the chat for me a number between 0 and 9. Go ahead and put that in the chat for me. Some of y'all may remember this. I doubt it. We'll see. All right, I see 8, I see 7. I see 3, good. Let me see another number. All right, I see 7 already. Give me another number other than that 7, other than 7, Robin. Thank you, 9, 5, thank you, perfect, thank you. Now what I want you to do is I want you to double your number. Put it in chat, whatever number that is, I need you to double it. Oh, good. Now, when I say double, I don't mean 8, double means to multiply by 2. So if you had 7, I see 14. If you had 5, I see 10. If you have 8, I want to see 16. I need to be clear because double, I see why somebody put 88. That makes sense. Okay, now I want you to add 2 to that number. Add 2 to your number. So if you had 14, I should see 16. If you had 16, I should see 18. If you had 18, I should cut your number in half. Everybody cut your number in half. She is gifted in other ways. Yes. Everybody cut your number. She is. All right. I want you now to subtract your original number and then type that number in your final number in the chat. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yes, yes. Guess what, you guys? You are the one. You're the one that someone's waiting for. Let me just say this again. Your service, your product, your book, your idea, your business, what you're trying to create, you're the one that someone is waiting for. Someone's waiting for you. And every time you shrink and say, oh, I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to start my business, or I'm not going to write that book, or I'm not going to start that YouTube. You know how many people are waiting for that? Like, for instance, I tell my husband this all the time. He has wants to do a class to help women to protect themselves. And I said to him, it's not about you. You have to step into what God, that divine download that God has given to you, because every day you wait, that's a life you could have saved. Imagine his information, somebody not getting that information, and how that could impact their life, and not only their life, their family lives. But that one thing that he shared could save someone's life. And that happened. This one young lady, he was sharing something, and the lady was saying, because of you, I knew not to go in that space. So your business, your idea, someone's waiting for you. Another thing about that is you're special. You know that there was a 1 in 480 billion chance of you being born. No, you're special. And I want to ask you real quick, I want you to type this in the chat. What are the variables that make you so special? What are the things that make you so special? I need you to type that in the chat, and I need somebody to tell me out loud. What are the different things that make you so special? What is the thing that people are always calling you on the phone and asking you to do? Like Carmita, when she wrote down the introduction, I was like, dang, I need to hire her. Like, mercy. What's that one thing that people always calling you? What are those variables that make you so special? Why do people always call you on the phone and ask you to do something? What are those things? You know, and I think for me, that was when I had that realization of what my passion was. You know, I remember I was at this when I first got started training and supporting women. And the first activity I did, the first workshop I did, the place was packed. I mean, the room was packed. And I was like, I was just doing it for the fun of it, you know, just for the fun of it. And it was so much fun. And I was giving them everything. It was like a smorgasbord. I can't even say the word. Somebody said, what's that word? Smorgasbord. What's the word?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord. There we go. Smorgasbord. I mean, their plates were so full. I was just giving so much. And I had so much fun that day, so much energy. And y'all, I didn't make that much money, but it was okay. It was okay. I was having fun. No one else can be you. Again, like I said, no one else has all the variables that you have. No one has all the ingredients that you have. And you got to show up. You have to show up. You have to show up powerfully. So I want to end by saying, whatever your dream is, live it, sleep it, breathe it. You got to get engrossed in your dreams. You got to sit in the seat. And like India Ari said, if you create the game, then you create the rules. And if you. Just be you. There's no way you can lose. It's your turn to serve. And I just want to say, if you like what you heard here, I invite you to get my book. There's so many wonderful things that you can take away. I just barely scratched the surface. And if you like to find out more of how we can play together, then let's connect. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you can purchase my book on Amazon. If you want a signed copy of the book, you can definitely get that link, playyourgame.now.site/home, and put your information in there, and I'll send you an autographed copy of the book. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you. I look forward to hanging out with you at the retreat. I look forward to just seeing your faces and learning more about who you be and how I can better serve you. And thanks a lot. And see you next go round.
Wasn't that awesome? I don't know about you, but I sure am ready to see myself living my very best life. I'm ready to see myself living my dream and acting like I'm already there, getting in the right position. I'm ready to play my own game now. Elzora, thank you so much for getting us in the right mindset to think about how we want to position ourselves to show up in 2022. The good news is that 2022 hasn't arrived yet, but Elzora has given us some things to think about in preparation for bringing all of ourselves to the table, playing our game now, and scoring that ace that can't be returned. Then I want to sit in my seat and drive my own bus. Amen. I know I'm right about it. Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us. We are so thankful that you'll be taking time out of your busy holiday season and beginning to think about all of life's possibilities that await you in 2022. Registration for the 2022 all-woman virtual retreat experience is still open. So if you want to share the opportunity with any of the dynamic women in your family or in your network of friends or colleagues, we'd love to see them in January along with you. Registration and the retreat details are all on the lovesavers.org website. So get ready, and we'll see you at the all-woman virtual retreat on January 14th through the 16th, 2022. Your life will never be the same.